Welcome, everybody, to Cup with Gup on this beautiful Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. We're going to talk a little power rankings, waiver wire ads, big waiver wire week this week with some key injuries. Then a little deep dive into Mayakoba Golf Classic. And then we'll get out of here back tomorrow with our final thoughts for the Mayakoba. And then on to NFL and college football, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got NASCAR this week, UFC this week. Big week in DFS sports, all sports in general. If you want to come check out the site for the first time, or maybe you used to be a member, you want to see all the upgrades we've done, you can use CUP, get 20% off, free 7-day trial included. Great week to do it. Big UFC card, final NASCAR race of the season. College football starting tonight. Just been on fire in college football all the way around. The GC Warrior rooms had tons of green screens. I had my best day of the season this year, Saturday, winning $40K. Looking to have a little more success tonight and all throughout the week. NFL showdowns, obviously PGA we got covered. Tons of stuff going on. Good week to try it out for free. See if you like it through the week. Lots still planned for us over the quote-unquote winter break, getting ready for golf next year. And then in the NFL offseason, we have a lot of things we're going to be adding for NASCAR and NFL as well. So come check it out now. Listener League, let's get that filled up. It'll be in the description. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. In the comment section, tell me who your Super Bowl matchup would be as it stands today with everything we know. Derrick Henry out, all those kinds of things. Maybe he makes it back by playoffs, maybe not. Winston goes down. Lots of unknowns right now. Tell me who you think would be in the Super Bowl as it stands today. Rate and review us on iTunes. I will be doing some giveaways on Millie tickets for that coming up shortly. Basically, if you haven't written review, just go ahead and do it. Probably going to do is ask you guys to take a screenshot of it, send it to me. It'll be in the drawing. I'll finalize all that. I think I may wait till coin flip or the hot route with Ryan to finalize all that. But you might as well go ahead and do it because we always give big giveaways and we look at that anyways. So even if you've done it a long time ago, go ahead and redo it real quick. Grab the screenshot. You'll be ready for when we post that. Monkey Knife Fight. In the description, use the code GUPS, 100% match up to $100. I'll have my PGA plays on tomorrow's pod. And then Thursday, I will have NFL and college football plays on the coin flip. Underdog, same deal. Use the code GUP, though, no S. Get up to a free $100 when you deposit up to $100. They have all kinds of pick'ems going on right now. You can mix and match the sports on the parlays. You can get up to a 20x payoff there. I still got the Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night football stuff. World Series Game 6 tonight. They got a pull up there if you want to go check it out. Start building some bankroll on there for the best balls, which we are told will be released in May. Link is in the description if you want to check out Underdog. Really like both those sites. Like to compare them, look at the odds on some of the props and stuff. Very active on both of them as well. NFL Power Rankings, Week 9. I have, let me get the other sheet pulled up by the Rams. There we go. Rams, Cowboys, Packers, Bucks, Bills, Cardinals, Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, Raiders, bubble teams, Titans, Colts, and Saints. I could say Dallas and the Rams are kind of even, but I guess I want to see Dak back, play a game or two, be healthy, knowing that it's not going to be a lingering issue, as well as Cooper played Sunday night. I don't know if I can try. I don't think Cooper Rush is going to be taking us to the Super Bowl or anything. So I give a slight edge to the Rams. They were also aggressive with the trade yesterday. Both playing really well right now. So both only with one loss. Packers slightly behind them. Still a little worried about the defense. Rodgers playing well. Didn't have hardly any weapons last week and still got the W against the Cardinals. Defense has improved, though. Looks a little better. Holding strong as a third team for me. Bucks with a bad loss on the road to, hardly anybody for the Saints. They don't have Michael Thomas. They don't have, they lost Winston in the game. Saints D just seems to have that dialed in for Brady. Brady came back, but just wasn't enough at the end of the day. But I still like them. I mean, you're talking about getting to the playoffs and all that. It's a totally different ball game. So I still have them 4. And I have them and the Bills basically tied. I like, and the Cardinals for that matter. So could go either way there. I'd lean Brady a little bit more, trust him a little bit more because he's got it done before, and this Bucs team won last year. So, but the Bills are looking strong. I have nothing against them. Right there in the mix of it. Josh Allen's looking good. I want to see them be able to run the ball a little more consistent, especially when it gets to the playoffs. I think one of the big deals is going to be in the AFC is who winds up with the home field advantage. Not only there's only one team that gets a bye, so that's going to be big. But if you got to go through Buffalo, that's a big difference. Then, it's probably not going to be Kansas City, but, I think that matters for the Bills as well. Cardinals, lost to Aaron Rodgers. Nothing to, hate on or anything like that. Kyler got a little banged up there at the end. Obviously, if he's not around, that's a totally different team. But I don't know if he would sit this week. We'll see. I think he still plays, but still like them. They're doing, I think they're still playing really well altogether. His first loss on the season. Ravens right there behind those, probably the next level behind those two. Really just they didn't get settled on a running back. Defense is slowly getting a little better, getting healthier. That's the big deal. Next, Bengals. I did drop them, but I'm not gonna drop them all the way out. I don't know if they got lackadaisical with the lead or what. Really surprising there at the end for the Jets to make that push. Bengals looks like they had that game in control. I still think they're a good football team, so I'm gonna leave them at 8. I will say that the Titans and Saints would be in, and I would have, 2 of these last 3 out if there wasn't the injury concerns. Chargers, a loss at home to the Patriots. I like the Patriots all week. I didn't know if they'd get the win done, but I did like them on the number. Raiders, tragic news just coming out in the last couple hours about Ruggs looks to be getting charged with DUI that caused the death overnight, about 4 a.m. over there. So that's not good. But they've been playing really well in a lot of all facets of the game. Maybe they're gelling since the Gruden fire. Probably wouldn't be in the top 10 if we didn't lose Derrick Henry and Winston, but I have them there for now. Colts just kind of let that one go against the Titans. You got to you got to get that win right there to stay in it. They get a little, I don't want to say a break, but potentially a little bit of a break that Henry's out. Titans, it's a blow. We'll see. Peterson's, you don't want to say he wasn't on a team for a reason because he may have been being very picky on when he come back. This is maybe exactly what he was waiting for. To say, hey, I'm only gonna go or put my body through that if I have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. And obviously the Titans are right there in the mix. No way he'll be able to replace Henry's presence, but if he can at least keep the rushing respectable, so they don't just start, blitzing and not respecting the run at all. Henry was a big factor there, so I had to drop them pretty good, even though they're coming off the big win. Saints, it's just I want to see how they're going to handle all that in general. Summer looked good last week. Everything points to Taysom Hill is going to be the starter once he's healthy. What does that look like? Michael Thomas is going to be coming back eventually. They have a good record. They're playing well. Their defense is playing well. They can run the ball. They get Ingram back on the team now. That's going to help save Kamara some, or even allow Kamara to go out in the passing game more often if need be. I like them. Quarterback's a big deal, especially when we get to the playoffs. So I got to see it before I believe it there on where they're going now without Winston. Waiver wire adds. I think you could add Taysom Hill. Kind of depends on if you've been streaming all year long. Maybe you take a chance on him just because of the rushing upside. This does probably knock Kamara a little bit in general. Not only the goal line carries getting taken away, but now you got Ingram there. So he'll really have to get him involved in the passing game to make that work out, especially when we start talking about DFS and stuff like that. But season-long stuff, you could add him. If you had Winston, maybe you just put Hill in there. You could just continue to stream, and if Hill seems to have a good matchup, maybe you get on him. I think Peterson is definitely an ad. He'll probably be the highest, if you're in an FAB type budget deal, probably go for quite a bit because, I think they're still going to try to run the ball. I mean, Julio gets healthy, they will throw it, but, I don't think he's going to replace Henry by any means. But certainly by this time of the year, most, fantasy rosters are beat up, banged up. You got bye weeks. So he's viable. I don't know how much you want to spend on him, but he's certainly viable. Dan Arnold's still out there a lot. If you need a tight end, he continues to get pretty good amount of work. You could go Carlos Hyde on a short-term deal. That's not a long-term in case Robinson misses this week. I think Latavius Murray is still going to be the main guy in Baltimore. So if he's healthy and back, that may be a good ad. I mentioned Ingram earlier. If you're really desperate, I think he's a guy you can get in there. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how that whole Saints team looks, for 3 or 4 weeks. Once you get, let's just say it's Taysom Hill, you got Kamara, you got Ingram back now. Maybe you get Michael Thompson back in the next week or two. How does the usage and touches look in that type of a setup? So it wouldn't spend a ton on Ingram, but if you need a guy, you need a guy. Derek Gore's a guy that looked impressive last night for the Chiefs. As long as, Clyde's going to be out, I don't know if he doesn't get more carries. Williams didn't look bad either, but they both look good. That'd probably be more of a, you're really hurting at running back, bye week feel or something like that. Devontae Parker, probably, coming back, looking healthy. Got a good matchup this week, certainly viable. Jamison Crowder seems to, when he plays and is healthy, he still seems to get a lot of points no matter who the quarterback is. Renfro, I kind of already had on the list, but now with Ruggs, I assume maybe could miss some time. Maybe he's a good pickup for that offense. He's probably going to take up a little bit more usage. Bateman's still out there in quite a few. I know he hadn't really broken off yet, but I think as the season goes along, he could be a really valuable piece on your bench when you're making a playoff push in your season-long stuff. Van Jefferson seems to still – looks like they may try to trade Jackson before the deadline. Don't know what's going on with all that, but Van Jefferson looks like he's pretty much solidified that number 3 wide receiver spot. He can take the top off of defense, so he's certainly viable. Agnew for the Jags is a guy that we kind of targeted on DFS last week, but I think he's a viable pickup. And then last, I don't know what's going to happen with Ridley or how long he's going to be out. Tajay Sharp got the better game this last week. Gaze didn't even get a catch, so that's a little discouraging. I probably lean Sharp, but you could take a flyer on either one of those if you're looking for a wide receiver to fill a hole while he's out. I mean, Pitts is going to be the guy, and Patterson probably get work, both rushing and receiving. But they're still going to have to throw to somebody. Streaming quarterback options this week, they actually play each other. I don't mind either one of these if you really need to stream one. Tua playing the Texans. We know the Texans are not great. And then Tyrod looks to be making his return this week. He's playing the Dolphins. Potential there. I think they could get some points. I'd lean Tua there. I would imagine both those are still available for a streaming purpose. Or you could stream Taysom Hill this week if you want to as well. PGA Mayakoba Golf Classic, deep dive, kind of Tuesday update. Weather and course looks great. I just don't see much right now. Nothing's really changed a whole lot. Very, very low chance of rain, 15 to 20%. 80s, sunny, not really a lot of wind. I think they're going to have, I think it's going to be some scoring conditions. Probably have to get to the low 20s to get the W this week. Looks like a great week. Trending highest in no certain order. Abe answered, JT, Neiman, Mito, Hovland. No surprise there with those 5. Some potential sleepers and low-owned guys as I've gone through the deep dive portion of the week. Let me get that pulled up. Hoffman, I'll be interested to see kind of where he comes in at. He's moved up quite a bit through the deep dive. I don't have him projected for a ton of ownership right now. Looking really good. Garcia, mentioned him yesterday. I still like him. I think he'll be low owned at that price and kind of in that area. It's kind of a dead spot when you're kind of looking at potential first run ownership stuff. Keith Mitchell, he's moved up. He was already in my top 20. Didn't really talk about him yesterday, but he moved up even more. We know putting can be an issue for him at some point. But course comp, deep dive, all that kind of stuff really looked good in the stuff I looked at this morning. So I like Mitchell. Hudson Swafford I still like. Talked about him a little bit yesterday. Gary Woodland is a guy that I don't think I mentioned yesterday. He was 26th on the Monday model, has moved up since then. He's a guy that does profile to be able to club down off the tee, play it well. So he's a guy that's moved up on my list. And then Pendrith, I'm interested to see how many go back to him. He's one I'm going to have trouble nailing the ownership on. He wasn't, very owned last week at all. We had a lot of them. I don't remember what he was for sure. I'll go look that up. But I don't see any reason for him not to be successful here. $7,200. I don't know if he gets a 10% this week. It's going to be fairly spread out, and especially in the 7Ks. There's a lot of good plays when it's pretty strong there. I think a lot of people may dodge some of the 8Ks outside of the chalkier plays. So I think guys are going to be living up in that 10K, and then they'll pick, maybe they go Scheffler or Wise. I think is still going to garner. He's the one I was concerned yesterday about. Well, not concerned, but wondering, will people go there at that price? So far, it seems like they are. He's got good history here, a mixed bag of history, and he's coming in, off a 5th and an 8th. So I think he's going to garner some ownership. Reed probably will. There's some good names here. Willie Z always seems to. I don't know if Wolf will get too much. But I think, a lot of people are going to go, the Mito, the Garcia, probably Fitzpatrick, Noren a little bit, and just pepper the 7K range because there's a lot of good names there. And 6K range probably won't get as much action as some weeks. I really feel like the balance build, I kind of feel like it'd be balanced, or you get like your guy up top and then drop to a somewhat hybrid balance build this week. Monday redo for me. I'm not sure I gave enough love to Thomas and Hovland. When it comes down to it, especially if I'm doing MME, which I probably will this week, I'll probably will have one of them in my player pool. I don't know if I go to both of them. They're both inside the top 5 from right now, within 1% of each other. My initial ownership projections. I probably lean JT for the $300 more, but you could talk me in either way there. I have such a condensed smash factor that I like those guys in general, but I'm trying to find 3 solid plays, a bubble boy play, stuff like that up top it almost comes down to your comfortability level. Now I think Answer's going to be massively owned, so the question becomes, when we're talking about Answer, Neiman, and I think Hovland and JT will both end up in the top 5 probably. So you don't. And Mito's pretty cheap. So you get Mito and Neiman, 78.81. You can really build a lot of lineups with those 5 starting mixing and matching. And so that's why you see that correlation coming together with ownership. So you have to make some tough choices there. I'd be interested to see if Answer he's a little cheaper than those guys, Hovland and JT. Do people start moving back a lot? I mean, if Answer's going to be number 1 owned, I'll spend $200 more for Hovland, or or drop down 100 to Finau and take a chance there. Don't know how much people get to Hatton or even Horschel. I think both those two will easily be the lowest owned in this range. And then lastly, before staying strong, Brooks is a guy that he shot even last year, even. So he missed the cut by 1. He'll probably be, I think him, Horschel, and Hatton, I think all those guys are going to be right around each other, 7 to 10% range, because a lot of people are going to be on JT Hovland and Answer. So that's why I say I think I pick one of JT Hovland, or I go with both and completely fade Answer and just hope it works out. But Answer obviously has played really well here from Mexico. I don't know how often he got out there, but that's somewhere where I'm at. And then I can drop down to like a Brooks type play who's going to be a little bit lower owned and cheaper, and then get into my 9Ks and just move off the rest of them. I'll kind of think through all that tonight. We'll go a little bit more in depth tomorrow on the final thoughts. My staying strong guys so far, Mito, Neiman, Scheffler, Kazire, and Wolf. Those are the guys that haven't moved much for me. Still looking to play them a lot. Like I mentioned, I'll be back for tomorrow's final thoughts. We got some great college football tonight. The Maction, gotta love that. Seen some talk already, chatter in the Warrior Room. Be fun. Those are Sometimes difficult to find information out on some of those slates and stuff. Less beat reporters talked about that last year with COVID and stuff, but being around that Warrior room, getting last minute information can literally, some weeks it's just made us a ton of money because not a lot of people are paying attention, and a guy we didn't even know was going to be out gets ruled out, and we just happened to get ahead of it before someone else and right before lock. So it's valuable, especially on these weekday slates where not everybody's focus is on a college football deal. Not big money out there tonight, but a pretty good pots for a first Tuesday night 3-game slate and a little showdown slate. So looking forward to it. And then we get World Series Game 6 as well. And then push forward to PGA, NFL, NASCAR, UFC, and all that. You want to come check us out, use the code CUP. Get 20% off, includes a 7-day trial. Hope you guys have a blessed evening, and I will see you tomorrow.